Hey guys, I'm Marci. This is my Honda Civic Type R 2019. Come on, let's go for a spin. Let's go piss some people off.
So, you got this car 2 years ago?
About, yes.
Okay, and you're in the market for a Honda?
I was in the market for a Honda.
Now, why were you in the market for a Honda specifically?
So I used to own a Honda. I started driving, when I first started driving the stick shift, it was, I had a 94 Prelude at the time, and I just loved it. The problem was, it was too small. I got married, had a baby, and it was just not working out, so we had to sell it. I always knew that I wanted a Honda. I've always loved the Hondas. They're very reliable, family friendly. And after having that Honda, we ended up getting another Honda SI, then a Dodge Challenger. But ultimately, I just knew that I was going to go back to a Honda. So yes, I had a Challenger beforehand, and the reason why I got rid of it, it was just too bulky for me. I do love I enjoyed the body of it. It is a true muscle car. It had all the power, 8-cylinder, Hemi, but there was just something about it. I couldn't quite get used to it. The bulkiness, the clunkiness.
It's a large car.
It's a large car.
It's built for, I think, for people with large sausage-like fingers.
Yeah.
You kind of get the notion that everything's kind of oversized a little bit.
Yeah, and then,
no hate on the Challenger, guys,
no, and then the traction was just not what I was looking for. You know, it was just something about it.
I think I had the same issue with the Chrysler. The cars, and this is the problem with not all domestics, but a lot of domestics, especially some of the, basically you had an RT, right? So the RT and the 300C, they get these really tall wheels, but they're skinny.
It just wasn't working out for me. I really did like the speed. I enjoyed the takeoff. Everything was just, you know, the way it would purr. It was just perfect.
Yeah,
you would rev it up, and it was just,
yeah. There's a certain kind of thing about the way that V8 sounds. There's something about it is really, you can't help but enjoy that.
Yeah, so it
really
just you know, it would get me all giddy.
Yeah.
So then we decided, okay, we're gonna get rid of the Challenger, and what is going to be our next car. And after doing some research on several different kinds of cars, Subarus, you know, just even the Ford Focus, they had a really good car, sports car. But again, ultimately, it's just the Hondas. I just love everything about the Hondas. The fact that they retain their value is also one of the things that I enjoy. So further down the road, if I ever decide to get rid of this car, I know that I'm going to get my, you know, it's not going to depreciate as much as
they're going to take a bath.
Right, so.
Red inlay for everything, the Type R, which you just discovered what the R stood for.
So R stands for racing, which I thought I knew what the R stood for, but
what did you think the R stood for?
I don't know. A really fast car? I don't know.
Yep.
But if we're talking about the interior, I wouldn't change a thing other than it doesn't have a third seat in the back. It has a console in its place, a cup holder.
It's kind of annoying.
It is a little bit.
Because, you know, you think a family of 4, but then also the family of 5, that kind of is where you kind of have a problem.
Right. So, sorry guys, one of you is going to be left behind.
Well, it does have a spacious trunk.
Yeah, we can put them in the trunk. That's true.
Yeah, it does have a spacious trunk.
Put them in the trunk.
So, yeah, trunk can always be there.
Yeah. And I did discover that the seats fold down.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
So you could have 3 kids laying down in the back rather
potentially. Exactly.
than
Other than that,
proper safety belts.
Exactly. I do love the red. It just pops. It just pops out.
And the seats.
And the seats
are very
pretty
nice.
comfortable.
They're
pretty
comfortable. Cloth, but they're got good bolsters to keep you in. They're kind of bucket style.
So yeah,
and there's a lot of like Alcantara.
Yeah. Leather.
This kind of looks like the really soft leather. Yeah, I think it looks cool. Or that this is cloth and I don't know what I'm talking about, which could be.
So the exterior is flamboyant, to say the least. But I would not change a thing about it.
You like the giant wing in the back?
I do. It just adds character and personality. So
now I heard that every couple of months Honda sends technicians over to glue more fins on the back of your car. Is that correct?
They probably do. There's probably a fin out there that I have not discovered.
It seems like it's just an absurd number of fins in the back. It's like they kept going.
I mean, they could.
Going.
Yeah, maybe add lights, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. They haven't just. Then I can't. What's the next Type R going to look like? Because this has so many fins. It's like, you know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they'll add another one. I don't know.
So exterior is bright. It's flamboyant, but you like that.
I do like that.
How about the engine? Obviously, you had a V8, but you've had 4-cylinders in the past with Honda. How does this compare to, let's say, the Prelude or the SI?
It does have more of a I do feel the power of the engine, so it responds better than the other 2 cars that I've had.
And it's turbocharged versus naturally aspirated.
Right.
So you get more low-end torque.
Correct.
Okay, because that's one of the things about the VTEC motors, or a lot of the late 90s, early aughts, before they've gone to turbocharge, is that you have to really wind the motor up. And what's the red line of this motor? Where does it tell you it can't go any further? 7? Yeah. Probably for reliability, in terms of you don't have to put as much strain on the motor. A high output naturally aspirated motor is a very expensive motor to build and maintain, because the tolerances are very, very tight, versus a larger displacement, maybe a turbocharger. So I would imagine they probably cut some costs going with turbocharging over building a dual motor, which would be like, you know. So how do you like the transmission, the 6-speed? How do you like it? Are the throws good?
I like it. I like the
because your Honda, originally your Prelude was a manual as well.
Correct.
Your SI was a manual.
Yes.
Okay, and your Challenger was also manual.
Yes.
Okay, so you've had almost exclusively manual cars.
Yes.
That's very rare, but that's cool.
Yes.
How does the transmission feel in terms of the shift knob and all that stuff?
The transmission feels smooth.
Butter.
Butter. Like butter.
Okay. Like margarine, maybe?
Like margarine. No.
Yeah. Well, the world's finest margarine. Yeah, like it comes from the south of France, margarine.
Yeah. Better than butter.
Okay. All right, tell us about the modes, the different options you have.
So this little knob here, you can change the different settings. Right now it's currently on R, which is racing, but you can switch it to sport, which it normally defaults to when you first turn it on.
Okay.
Or you can go comfort. So the difference is basically what I've noticed is just the steering wheel. Smoother when you're doing comfort, a little bit tighter when you're doing sport. And when you're doing the racing, definitely get more of your steering wheel is a little bit harder, and it's easier for you to hit those curves when you're racing.
Or, drive off the road.
Or drive off the road if you want to, or scare some country people down the road. Yeah,
well, I think he was upset about his dog being scared.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we just kept activating his sensor, I guess.
Well, actually, technically it was you.
It was me. It was on me. It was on my fault.
How about the brakes? Have you had any panic stops where you have to get on the brakes pretty hard in this car yet?
Not yet, but I do know that if I ever find myself in that situation, the brakes that it has are very responsive to any kind of hazard.
Yeah, because they're Brembos.
Correct.
Marci was looking for that word, but she forgot. But that's okay. Yeah, the thing's got red Brembo calipers, so very, very high end for a Civic, really. So I think that's actually pretty nice. They definitely spent some money there to put that on this car.
Yes.
Do you daily drive this car?
I do not daily drive this
Why is
car.
that?
Well, because I have my HRV, and that's more of a commuter car for me.
So this is your weekend car?
This is my weekend, special occasions, you know. For the most part, it's just kept in the garage. I want to keep I want to keep the mileage low, just because if I ever need to sell it or find something better, which I don't anticipate doing.
Now, if you only had space for one car, would you be able to daily this car, or would you rather have something else? Like if you're like a young person or somebody who lives like downtown and they only have one parking spot, would you suggest this as a car to have as a drive every day, use for everything kind of car? Is it practical enough to do that?
It is, and I think the fact that it has the three different modes to drive it in will give you that flexibility to do so. I just want to conserve it intact, body-wise and low mileage. But if I had to, I would make this my commuter car.
Okay. If you lived, if you worked at a place where people were more respectful of other people's property.
Exactly. That's another reason why I don't really take it out. And if you see that lovely crack right there on the windshield,
that's why we can't have nice things.
That's why we cannot have nice things, and that's why it's kept in the garage. But you know, accidents happen, things happen. And
can never tell. Now, how's the suspension?
It's responsive. I mean,
it doesn't beat you up at all, though. I mean, that's kind of one of the things with some of the one of the complaints of the Focus R was that the suspension was so rough you didn't want to daily it because it was just that rough. Is this comfortable? Like, if you had to take this for a trip, like drive here to Vegas,
oh no, yeah, super.
It would be comfortable enough.
The suspension is smooth. Okay. It's a smooth ride. It's low enough, but it's responsive enough.
Okay.
The only thing is, I you know, earlier when we were shooting, there's certain areas whenever I hit those bumps, oh my god, I just have to clench every muscle simply because I just feel like I'm causing damage.
What is something that you discovered about this car that you didn't know?
I wish it was a little bit louder. Because
so the exhaust is a little muted.
It is. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that, you know, having a car that has power, like I want to be able to hear the power.
Yeah.
I want to be able to rev it up and, you know, hear it.
Yeah.
But that's not something that I get from this car. And that's the only thing that I would change. If I could make it louder,
yeah,
I would.
Are you sure you're not just driving it hard enough, Marci?
No, I think it's just the way it is.
How long do you think you're going to be keeping this car?
I don't know. I don't see myself selling it anytime soon.
You don't see any
soon.
replacements though?
No,
you don't see anything that pops and says, I would sell my Civic in a heartbeat for that car. It's like,
yeah, so you know what, James, I started with the Prelude.
Yeah.
Then went to the Honda SI, which was a little step up for us.
Yeah.
And then this is like a step above that. Yeah. Now, what's going to come after that, I don't know. If Honda comes out with a car that's similar to this or even better, with a little bit more horsepower,
yep,
then I would consider maybe changing it for that. Okay. I did like the Supras before, but for now, I think this is what I like as far as, you know, it being a 4-cylinder. It's enough power and turbo for me at the moment. I wouldn't change it or consider selling it or getting anything different for the moment.
Okay.
And you know, it is a stick shift, and I just, when people ask me if I know how to drive a stick shift, and I say yes, and I tell them the type of car that I have, there's always this like shock factor and this wow factor, like, oh my god, you know how to drive a manual. Yes, I do. And I just love it. Because not a lot of people know how to drive stick shifts anymore, let alone a sports car. So I think it's pretty cool.
Jeff. Yeah, it's okay. Go ahead, Marcy.
Oh, I can talk now?
You can start driving. Let's drive. Because we're going to talk.
Where am I going?
We need 10 minutes of drive time.
So should I just go back to the road that we...
You can go through Elk. You know, you live in Elk Grove, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know the town, right?
Yeah.
So just go for a circuit. Just come back here.
Oh.
Go down there, go south. You go down and get on the freeway, get on Grant Line, come back. I mean, because Grant Line actually loops around, so we actually can go through town, get on the 99, go south, hit the Grant Line exit, which is the next exit, take Grant Line out to Elk Grove Boulevard, then come right back here. Make sense? Circle?
No, but you just tell me where to go.
Oh, Marcy.
I'm terrible. I'm just bad at everything.
Well, we've already established that, but now we have video evidence of you being bad.
Christ.
Trying to crash your car and all that stuff. Where are you going, Marcy?
I don't know.
You should have gone that way.
Well, just see, I get nervous. You make me nervous.
Marcy, Marcy, did you take your Ativan before you came to work?
James, I did not.
Okay, so let's make a U-turn here.
We're gonna make a U-turn here.
Yep, let's go in there. Yep, that road. Yep. Or you can just, do that.
We're just gonna do this.
Yep, that's great.
Totally
Yep.
cool.
And there's the cops.
I'm sorry.
Arrest this woman.